Have you ever sat quietly at the end of the day, maybe after dinner, maybe while staring out the window, and asked yourself, why do I still feel this emptiness? You've worked hard your whole life, raised children, built a home, helped others, but now the days feel slower, the phone rings less, and something inside feels a little lost. If this sounds familiar, please know you are not alone. After 65, many seniors find themselves battling not just physical health concerns, but invisible emotional challenges. These aren't talked about as often. There's no blood test for them, but they're just as real and just as dangerous to our well-being. I'm talking about emotional traps, silent patterns of thinking and feeling that slowly drain away our joy, our purpose, and our inner peace. And the worst part? These traps don't arrive overnight. They creep in quietly. A little loneliness here, a little regret there. Until one day, you look in the mirror and wonder where your spark has gone. But here's the good news. You can break free. This video isn't about blame or shame. It's about healing. It's about waking up the light that still lives inside you. Because your heart still matters, your voice still matters, your happiness is not behind you. It's within you. So today we're going to talk about 5 emotional traps that silently steal joy from seniors after 65, and more importantly, how to break free and reclaim your sense of peace, purpose, and passion. Let's begin with one of the most common and most painful emotional patterns seniors face, the feeling of no longer being needed. Trap 1. The I'm no longer useful mindset. For decades, your days were full. You worked, you provided, you helped. Maybe you were the go-to problem solver in the family, the breadwinner, the caretaker, the teacher, the leader. You had a role, and that role gave you purpose. But after retirement, or after the kids moved out, or after the spouse passed away, you might have felt something shift. Suddenly, the phone doesn't ring as much. People don't ask for your opinion like they used to. You look around and life seems to have moved on without needing you, and that's when the thought begins to creep in. I'm no longer useful. This belief is deeply painful, because humans, especially seniors, need purpose, just like we need food and air. When we feel useful, our brain releases chemicals like dopamine and serotonin, the feel-good hormones that fight off depression and boost energy. But when we feel useless, those chemicals drop, and we begin to shrink emotionally and even physically. Studies show that seniors who feel they have a purpose live longer, have better brain function, and enjoy higher life satisfaction, even with physical health issues. Let me share the story of Mr. James, a 72-year-old retired school principal. After retirement, he felt invisible. Days felt long and heavy. Until one day, a local library asked if he could volunteer for a kids' reading group. At first, he hesitated. They don't need an old man like me, he thought. But something nudged him to try. And guess what? That 1 hour of reading turned into the highlight of his week. The kids adored him. He became their grandpa reader. And week by week, his spark returned, because he realized his usefulness didn't end. It just evolved. So how can you break free from this emotional trap? Start small. Ask yourself, what can I still give, even if it's just a kind word, a listening ear, or a skill you've carried for decades? Volunteer in small ways, at a church, a hospital, a community group. Call younger family members and ask how you can help. Even sharing your wisdom online or over the phone can deeply impact someone. And remember this, you don't have to save the world. Just light one candle of kindness each day. That is enough. Spiritual reminder, your soul has no expiration date. God doesn't retire his children, he refines them. Your work may change, but your worth remains. Let's move now to the second emotional trap, one that pulls you away from the present moment and traps you in the past. Trap 2. Living in the past, nostalgia or regret. There's something comforting about memories. Old songs, childhood laughter, the way your spouse used to smile, the smell of your mother's cooking. These moments feel safe, warm, familiar. But what happens when the past becomes a place you live in instead of just visit? Some seniors constantly compare the present to the good old days. Others replay regrets, mistakes, or missed opportunities. And slowly, life begins to feel like it's already over. But here's the truth. Living in the past, whether through longing or regret, steals your joy today. It can cause depression, anxiety, and even increase your risk of heart problems. Neurologically speaking, when you relive painful memories, your brain reactivates the same stress responses as if those events were happening again. So emotionally, you're reopening wounds, again and again. Let me share Sarah's story. A 68-year-old grandmother who used to cry every night about the way she raised her children. "I was too strict," she'd say. "I ruined their childhood." One day, her daughter finally said, "Mom, stop punishing yourself. We love you. We forgive you. Now you need to forgive yourself." That moment changed everything. Sarah started journaling. Each day she wrote one sentence of forgiveness and one new thing she was grateful for. Slowly, the weight lifted. Here's how you can break free from this trap. Daily gratitude anchoring. Every morning or evening, write down one new thing you're grateful for from today, not yesterday. Self-compassion journaling. Write a letter to your younger self, then write a reply from your older, wiser self. Engage in new experiences, whether it's joining a book club, planting a new garden, or trying online learning. Give your brain fresh joy to focus on. Spiritual reminder, you are not your past. You are God's unfolding work, still being written with grace. Now let's talk about a trap that hides behind silence. The fear of being a burden. Trap 3. Fear of being a burden. Let's be honest. As we age, we need more help. And that's hard to accept. Many seniors quietly hide their struggles. They don't tell their kids about their falls. They downplay their loneliness. They smile through pain, all because they don't want to bother anyone. But this fear of being a burden creates a dangerous pattern, emotional isolation. And isolation, my friend, is deadly. Research shows that loneliness increases the risk of heart disease, dementia, and early death. One study even found it's more dangerous than smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Let me tell you about Maria, a widow who started having trouble with balance. But she never told her son. "He's busy with work," she'd say. Then one night she fell in the kitchen and couldn't get up for hours. That fall could have taken her life. When her son found out, he cried. Not because she needed help, but because she didn't ask for it. Here's how to break free from this trap. Create a care circle. Choose 1 to 2 trusted people who check on you weekly. Be honest. Let them love you. Use supportive language. Instead of, "I don't want to bother you," say, "I value our connection and I need your support." Accept help as a blessing, not a burden. Your loved ones want to care for you. Helping you gives them purpose too. Spiritual reminder. You carried others for decades. Let them carry you now. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. And it's love returned. Now let's talk about one of the most limiting emotional beliefs of all. The feeling that it's too late. Trap number 4. Believing it's too late for me. How many times have you told yourself, it's too late to change? I'm too old to start something new. My dreams are behind me. This mindset is one of the most powerful joy killers for seniors, because when you believe it's too late, you stop trying, you stop growing, and slowly, you stop living with passion. But here's the truth. It's not too late. Not even close. The human brain has something called neuroplasticity, the ability to form new pathways, and it continues even into your 90s. That means you can still learn, you can still grow, you can still start fresh. Meet Harold, a 76-year-old man who always wanted to learn the violin. One day he finally said, "Why not?" He got a cheap violin, watched YouTube videos, and squeaked his way through the first few months. Today he plays every morning and says it's the best part of his day. He didn't become a professional musician, but he became something far more powerful, a joyful beginner. Here's how to break free from the too late trap. Write a someday list. Things you always wanted to try but never did. Pick one. Start small. Take a single step. A book, a video, a phone call. Join senior clubs or online communities. Surround yourself with others who are also learning, exploring, and growing. Spiritual reminder. If your heart is still beating, God is still creating through you. You are never too old to be reborn. And now we come to the final, and perhaps most freeing, emotional trap. Holding on to bitterness. Trap number 5. Holding on to bitterness or unforgiveness. Some hurts go deep. A betrayal, a broken relationship, words that wounded, years of emotional neglect. It's normal to carry pain, but when we hold on to it for years or decades, that pain turns into bitterness, and bitterness is emotional poison. Studies show that holding grudges increases stress, inflammation, blood pressure, and even memory problems. In contrast, people who practice forgiveness live longer, sleep better, and feel more peace. Let me share Helen's story. An 80-year-old woman who hadn't spoken to her brother in 40 years. When she heard he was dying, something in her softened. She called. They cried, they forgave. He passed away 3 days later, but she says that moment and those few words had freed her soul. Here's how you can break free. Forgive without waiting for an apology. Forgiveness is about you, not them. Try symbolic release. Write a letter to the person or yourself, then burn it or bury it. Speak words of peace aloud. Even just saying, "I choose to let this go," begins the healing. Spiritual reminder. Forgiveness doesn't say they were right. It says you choose peace over pain. Let go. You deserve lightness in your heart, not heaviness. You deserve joy, not just survival. If you've made it this far, I want to speak to your heart now. You've lived through joy and sorrow, gains and losses, victories and regrets. But here's the truth: you are still here. That means your story is still unfolding. And happiness isn't behind you, it's within you. Today we uncovered 5 emotional traps that quietly steal joy from seniors after 65. The belief that you're no longer useful. Living in the past, through nostalgia or regret. The fear of being a burden. Believing it's too late to change or grow. Holding on to bitterness or unforgiveness. Each of these traps can feel heavy, but each has a door, and you hold the key. You are not too old. You are not too broken. You are not finished. Your sleep is sacred. Your heart is holy. Your life is a gift. So please, don't just survive. Live, grow, forgive, laugh, dance, learn, and most importantly, share your light.